And now, RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show.
Good evening and welcome to RSM, Rams Sports Magazine Show. I'm your host, Anthony Keith. The CSU football team is currently on a bye after a 4-game losing streak when they dropped one on the road to UNLV. So I'm going to stray away from football this week and dive deep into basketball as I have highlights from that CSU versus CSU Pueblo exhibition match.
Well, we were pretty slow on defense today. We took some positives out of that game, but I think we pointed out a lot of the areas that we need to work on. That was probably the biggest thing. The two numbers that jump out at me are the 21 turnovers and we almost shot 46% from the field. So those are two areas we're going to have to pride ourselves on this year to be good, and I think this game will just give us the things that we need to work on in practice a little more. So.
Quite a few things you didn't like so much.
Yeah, I just was not very impressed with our defensive effort. Our team defense was not very good. But I want to give credit to Pueblo. I thought Ralph Turner, who I've known for a long time, I've known him in coaching since 1990, and he did an excellent job. You know, they changed defenses. They got us on the, we were cooking pretty good the first 3 or 4 minutes or whatever, and then boom, all of a sudden 2-3 zone, and with some random trapping, selective trapping, some 1-3-1 that just kind of got us out of sorts a little bit. And I thought that had an effect on our defense too, and we have to be better than that. That's not a good enough effort. That's not a good enough mentality.
These exhibition games are good just to try different things. So try different lineups, try different attacks, and kind of feel out so you got something to work on in the film room and stuff like that. So these are a little different, and we just got to tighten up. I mean, they were just tipping balls everywhere. We were getting in the high traffic areas and just letting their hands get in there. And ball toughness, that we work on it all the time, and we didn't show it today. So like I said before, we're going to watch the film, learn from it, and get better in practice every day. So that's where we're going to take this game.
Yeah, for our zone attack is pretty much we just work the baseline. That baseline's wide open all day, pretty much with zone attack. So we just work that alley and create stuff from there, from high post to driving in and dishing it off. So we can create a lot of stuff doing that.
Some guys did some good things. Will Bell was good in the first half. The design was only to play him with his knee the way it is for about 10 to 12 minutes. He got 13 and made a living off good high post passes from Pierce and some other guys, and he did a nice job. Greg Smith's got to find a way to stay in the game. Bottom line, I thought that he let fouls kind of hamper him a little bit. And Wes shot well, Cody Mann did a nice job in transition. Cody's really good, but we're just not very ball tough right now. And there's just some things we have about 10 days to get better at, and it'll start tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, in the beginning, my nerves were up. I didn't know what I was doing out there. I was kind of faking it for a little bit, but they kept talking to me. They're just like, be aggressive, and when you're aggressive, the game comes to you a lot easier. So as soon as I start being aggressive, I start seeing things better, and it just got better for me.
Yeah, and I can be a jerk to play for, so I kind of get them feeling that way sometimes. But I thought he's so good in the open floor. If he can get into transition, he's pretty good. And you see, he's a very good athlete. He's way up above the rim, but he's got to be ball tough. He's got to improve his shot. There's just he's a kid that's got to develop, and that's what we think we can do. We think we can develop and improve that, but his athleticism, the speed, is something we don't have. Yeah, I think our posts were 5 for 13 starting out, and it was Will, it was Pierce, and it was Trevor. Those were the main culprits. I always say to the other guys, well, how's our free throw shooting? That's what I said at halftime. How's our free throw shooting? Some of these guys, these guards, are shaking their heads. What are you going to do about it? How many of you other guys are getting fouled? It's who's getting fouled too. And if you're not on the attack, if you're not doing the other things you should be doing, let's not shake our head at those guys missing them. Let's get yourself going where you're putting yourself in a position to be fouled. Defense, my goodness, defense. Ball handling. How about complete, but throw it to your teammate without stumbling over yourself or traveling or more stumbling. And like if somebody comes out, if you're in with two guys, how about let's just not set it out there on a silver platter. Those three things.
Now that you've heard from the men's side, coming up next after the break, I talk one-on-one with head coach of the women's team, Kristen Holt. Stay tuned. Okay.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to RSM. The CSU women's basketball team had a huge 76-35 exhibition win against Colorado Christian. So I spoke one-on-one with head coach Kristen Holt earlier this week. I'm joined by head coach Kristen Holt. Now, the new season is just upon us. You've already had an exhibition game. Tell me, what's going through your head as the head coach entering this season?
Well, the first exhibition, there were a lot of really positive things, and we have it on film, so we can kind of critique it and get better. Certainly we need to get better before our first real game, which isn't for another week and a half yet. But we have another exhibition on Saturday night, which will be good for us, and we're going to face a different kind of opponent, which will give us some different looks.
Now, against Colorado Christian, you guys put up a lot of points on the board. We've got Sam Martin, Kim Mestog putting up 17. Can we expect that kind of offensive power throughout the regular season?
Well, I think Kim and Sam are just really outstanding players, and they're our go-to players. And I think the key this year is going to be getting the surrounding cast to give us some scoring, which in the past we haven't had. And I think this year we've got some very capable people.
We got 5 freshmen coming in. Talk about that surrounding cast and how different this team is this season compared to last.
Well, we have Megan Heimstra back, and certainly she's not one of the freshmen, but she's a returner that helps us on the rebounds and putbacks, and is just an outstanding defender. And then Mandy McKeever is one of those redshirt freshman guards that played a little bit last year until she hurt her shoulder, and she's back. So those are 2 kids right there that did not play last year. And then Kelly Hardig is finally healthy this year, and of course last year she was banged up the whole time. And then we do have freshmen, and it's always interesting with freshmen. Can they adapt? Can they catch on? Can they adapt to the college game? And so far, they're not doing a bad job.
That's awesome. Now, one of those freshmen is Kim's little sister. Right now, she's injured, but wants to get in there, finish out her freshman year with her sister on the team. And there's some other family members on this team.
That's
so
right.
What does that do for the chemistry of this team?
Well, it adds to it, and you know, they get along so well as siblings, and then it's neat on the court because at least with the McKeevers, they know each other, and you know, they know where each other is going to be. And I haven't seen the Mestogs play together yet because of Hannah being hurt, but I would expect the same thing.
Give it time, and Hannah will be out there playing right with her sister. But one big thing, Mountain West Conference preseason polls have you guys finishing 3rd. What does that do for you as a coach, expectation-wise, or does it even matter, the preseason polls?
Well, I think preseason polls, if you're picked low, you ignore them and you say, we're going to use it as fuel to the fire. And if you're picked high, you say, you know, that's neat, and that's where we think we should be. And so I think, you know, 3rd place as a preseason poll pick, you know, we haven't been in that position since I've been here. I think that shows the growth of the program. And now we've kind of got a bullseye on us, and we've got to see how we'll be able to handle that.
It's a good thing, up to the challenge. Taking a quick look at the schedule, do any games really pop out to you this season? Which ones do? I mean, you got some big competition early on.
We have 6 NCAA teams from last year that made it to the NCAA tournament. That's a lot, and it's a definite upgrade. We'll be challenged right off the bat at Northern Iowa, and then we come home for a game against Arizona State, who was in the NCAA tournament last year. And of course, CU is pretty early on in our schedule, and we'll have them here at our place. So there's a lot of exciting games for people to come and see.
Going through the gauntlet early on. What does that do for your team? Does that prep them for conference, you think, in your opinion?
Well, I think that it'll be interesting to see, because that's the intention of the schedule. Hopefully the coach wasn't so stupid to over schedule. But no, I think as long as we just continue to grow and get better, and certainly we want to pick up wins. I mean, we don't want to just go through the motions. But we'll just kind of see, and how we handle it, and our growth will really determine, you know, what we're going to be like in our conference.
Talking about growth, it's still early on. You've only had 1 exhibition game, few practices, but what are the big strengths, the big weaknesses to this team?
Well, I think from last year, we knew coming into this year that our rebounding had to improve, and taking care of the ball, turnovers. We had quite a few turnovers in our first exhibition game here the other night, and that's something that will be a real goal for us going into Saturday night's exhibition. But I think the strength has been our defensive and then just aggressiveness has been great, and we're a really good shooting team as long as we take good shots. And
Use
I think
that to your advantage.
that's exactly what we're going to try to do. Yeah.
Another big thing this season is you've got record amount of televised games. You know, how excited are you for that? Getting that exposure out there.
Well, that's huge, and it's huge for our kids that they know that we're, you know, an up-and-coming program that's on TV and people see us, and for recruiting, you know, just for us to be exposed like that helps us tremendously in recruiting.
Definitely. Last question, Coach. What's your message to the fans out there?
I just want them to get out there and support us this year. And, you know, I think that they need to expect great things that are not only going to happen for women's basketball, but men's basketball and volleyball and football, right down the line. I mean, there just has to be an expectation from the fans, and certainly we're going to do our best, and we're going to give them a good product to watch.
Always helps to have those fans out there cheering. Well, I'm excited for the season,
All
Coach.
right.
Thank you so much for joining us on the
thank
show. Stay tuned because there's still plenty to come. Don't go anywhere just yet. I'm sticking with CSU women's basketball because coming up next, I talk one-on-one with Kim Mestock, who had a stellar performance in their exhibition game against Colorado Christian. Stay tuned.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to RSM. The CSU women's basketball team is just on the verge of their regular season. So I spoke one-on-one with one of their leaders, Kim Mestock, earlier this week. From the women's basketball team, I'm joined by Kim Mestock, who was named preseason Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. And I mean, that's the first big thing. That's a huge honor. I mean, out of the 8 teams in the Mountain West Conference, what's that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, it's great to see your hard work appreciated and like it's known out there and the coaches see it, and so it's a good thing.
Definitely. You hope that translates into this season. How was the off season for you? What did you really focus on this off season?
We really worked on defense and getting disciplined and doing it for a whole possession long and working on low stands and stuff like that. That's basically it.
Reflecting back on that last season, what are you taking from last season and applying to this season?
Personally or as a team or?
Both. Start personally, roll into the team method.
Okay, I think the leadership that I showed last year, I could do better and I will do better this year, but I mean, it's a start and I think I can build from that, and then as a team I can just say we were 4th last year, and I mean, we just gotta keep working hard and keep wanting more. And keep wanting more than the 3rd place we got picked. So.
Definitely. Now, talking about that leadership role, you guys lost 3 seniors. You're looking at this season, you know, taking on that kind of full responsibility, leader-wise. What does that mean to you?
I mean, I feel like it's something natural in me, though, that once, like, if you want the team to be successful, I feel like that's something I need to do. And as a senior, it's something that is expected. So
definitely. Now the women's team, not as bad as the guys' team when it comes to a whole different team. I mean, Miles, they lost so many key players. You guys have some of that core, especially with you and Sam. I mean, you guys both had 17 points in that exhibition match. So how different is this team's season this season compared to last?
I think we definitely have a lot of experience coming back. Megan is coming back from an injury, which is great. Kelly is healthy and will play. So, and then Sam and me are coming back. So we definitely already have like basic key players. And I mean it's good.
You feel like you're in a lot better position starting out this season. I mean, last season I remember it was injury after injury, and you guys were practicing down a player. How different is it this year?
We have dealt with some injuries, but we've been able to handle it, and we definitely already have more players than last year. So it's definitely better to work on stuff, I mean, together than, I mean, just like always split up in groups and like 4 here and 3 there.
Just having the numbers is a big thing.
Yeah.
From what you know about this year's team, what are your big strengths and what are your weaknesses?
As a team?
As a team,
okay, as a team. I think that we still have some players that are young, and I mean, I'm not saying it's a weakness, but it's something that will come as with the games that we're playing, and they'll get better and they'll get used to how we play. So I'm not seeing it as a weakness, but it's something that will get better. And then our strength is our height and experience from last year.
Definitely.
So,
being selected to finish 3rd in the preseason polls, how do you feel about that? Do you even care about the preseason polls?
I do care, but I mean, 3rd is not enough. So I mean, I don't really care about third place, so yeah. I mean, I do care that we got picked higher. This is the highest I've ever been picked in 4 years, so that's great. But
expectations are up there, and
not
hey,
high
show 'em-
enough.
yeah, there you go, plain and
Yeah.
simple. Talked a bit about the team, but how about individually? What do you want to work on as a player this season?
Just doing like most of the stuff that I did last year, and then, I mean, just be even more like a presence on the court, because sometimes I don't know, I know they're going to be locked in on me, and I'm just not like try to fade away and just try to make like, I don't know, make the best of my senior year.
Oh,
Yep.
that's a big thing too. This is your senior year.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? I mean, your whole college career, this is it right here.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm happy that I'm a senior, but I'm not that happy it's my last year. But I mean, got to make the best of it.
There's another mess dog in the ranks coming up and in.
Yeah.
What's it mean having your sister on the team with you?
It's different. I mean, still having a family member on the team, but we haven't had any issues yet, so that's fine.
No sisterly fights on the court or anything.
We're also rolling our eyes a little bit at each other, maybe, but that's about it.
Is she a lot like you? Can we expect another little Kim in the growth process?
Yeah, I think she got some fight in her too, so yeah.
What's your favorite part about this year's team? I mean, what's the chemistry like?
I mean, the part that I like the best is that we just get along off the court. We care about each other. We have like little team parties, like a Halloween party, and we all care about each other, and it translates on the court. We have really good chemistry, and everyone likes each other, so it's fine.
Oh, that's an important factor in basketball. Talking about Halloween party, what'd you go for as Halloween?
I was Kelly.
Kelly? Very clever,
well,
very
she was
clever.
my roommate, and she didn't know what she wanted to be, and I didn't know what, and so we dressed up as each other.
That's pretty funny right there. Looking ahead to this season, looking at the schedule, do any games really stick out to you more than others?
Definitely the CU game again, because it's a rivalry game, and then Arizona State game, and then all the other big schools that we're playing, like Michigan State, Pitt, Indiana. So
that's a good thing. You challenge yourselves, get some big wins out there if you can. How about that tournament in Cancun? You excited for that?
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I wish we were there already.
Definitely. Well, last question, anything else you wanted to add about this upcoming season, your expectations for the team and yourself?
I really think we're going to be a team that will, that will work hard on the court, and I think we're going to do some good stuff this year, and I'm really excited.
I'll speak for myself, and I'm sure the fans, when I say we're all excited for this season, show that you're better than third in the Mountain West. Take down that TCU team. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show.
No problem.
Best of luck this season. I'm sure I'll be bugging you more. Stay tuned, because there's still plenty more to come on the show. Coming up next on the show, I jump from basketball to volleyball as I recap their matchup against San Diego State from last week. Stay tuned.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.
Welcome back to RSM. The CSU volleyball squad is currently 10-1 in conference play as they prepare to face the University of Wyoming this Friday. However, I want to take this time to recap their match against San Diego State.
I'm glad that we brought Breon and Meg in here, because they had outstanding matches, and prior to the game, I asked them to be very vocal with Deidre and really talk to her a lot and keep her engaged with them during the match, and she did that, and that was great. We had really good set distribution today, if you consider that we were out of system a ton. And I thought Dana and Kate most of the swings they were taking were what we call, it's kind of a weird word, but we call it garbage. In other words, we're scrambling. They're getting a set that's coming from 12, 15 feet off the net. So they didn't have that many opportunities to take really good, hard swings. But Dana was very resourceful, finding ways to get kills, and even on set point. That shot she hit actually was a prescribed trouble shot that we were practicing, but not from that far off the net.
Running backwards. Please go in.
But, Kate and Dana just kind of ham and egged it, I guess, a little bit, and got enough kills. But we got a lot of kills out of our middles. And, 17 kills out of our middles out of 40. Brummett had a pretty nice day. And, but if you look at this box score and you look just along the hitting line, okay? 37 kills for them, 40 for us. 24 errors for them, 11 for us. And 24 is high, but 11 is really good. And that's because our team is managing their stuff really well. And so I was very pleased. You know, we can be better than this. In fact, I think we played better than this when we played them at their place. We had better tempo in our offense when we were in San Diego. And, you know, Deidre just has days where she's comfortable doing it, some days where she's not. And but the good thing she did today was she set the middles very well and really connected with Meg on the slide well, and that's good stuff. So, and also, we have been serving very, very well in the past 5 sets. And, you know, this young lady right here is a big part of that. And so is Deidre. And so, I mean, it's really, really an important part of what we've been doing this year. And so I'm pleased with this win. And I thought that we knew each set would have its ups and downs, and you know, we'd have some adversity, but we wanted to be the better team after 20, and that's what we were. We were the better team at the end of the sets.
Well, we have a few targets before the game, so I was kind of just going at that 5-6 seam, and then they were passing them, but not very well. So then I just decided to like drop one, and it worked, and they didn't move at all, so I did it again.
Wipe the spot for you.
Seriously, jeez. But yeah, I don't know, just kind of looking at their body posture and where they are in the court and how they're moving together and stuff.
That'll do it this week for RSM. However, the CSU volleyball team needs as many fans as they can get right here in Moby this Friday at 7 p.m. as they take on the one team that has beaten them in conference play so far, the University of Wyoming. Catch you next week.
You're watching RSM, the Rams Sports Magazine Show on Northern Colorado 5.